You either choose to transform or the life will demand you to transform. So there is no ifs and buts to it. Why the fuck life needs to be so perfect all the time? There is a specific outcome you're afraid of. A lot of you still suffer from your social freedom. A lot of you still suffer from lack of friends, girlfriends, dates and all of that there is. You would only want to go to the gym if you have been to the gym. You would only want to meditate once you have meditated. You would only want to dance, go out, party, have a good time once you have actually danced, went out and had a good time. You would only want to date once you've actually been on a few dates. You would only want to have a girlfriend once you have actually had a girlfriend and you have had a beautiful relationship rather and all that. Gentlemen, आज का ये एपिसोड is brought to you by TMB Basics. जाओ tmbasics.com पे and get yourself the best slim fit t-shirts, shirts, shoes और आपके बालों के लिए super sexy hair products by Cavs Grooming. सब live at tmbasics.com. Alright, welcome to the TMB podcast. It's been a while since we did a thing like this. It's been a while since Ayush has been on the show. In case you don't know who Ayush is, you should totally go back and watch all of our older podcasts. We even have a channel called TMB Podcast. कुछ जाता नहीं वहाँ पे live. आज से शायद कल से शायद कुछ हो, लेकिन that's a different topic. Today I wanted Ayush on board because there has been a lot of things that has happened in this gentleman's life in the last 2 years since you have been on the channel, and that's been a whole different journey where he should probably talk about it on his own channel whenever he starts and does things there. But today I wanted to talk about a topic which I think a lot of the men who watch this channel usually suffer from, and something that I'm personally very passionate to talk about because I think this is a part where men usually aren't conditioned, trained or programmed to be good at or seek happiness through. But a lot of you still suffer from your social freedom. A lot of you still suffer from lack of friends, girlfriends, dates and all of that there is. Now I'm not a dating coach. I have been an on and off dating coach, but I rather fancy about the whole idea of social freedom a whole lot more than narrowing it down to being a dating coach. So what I wanted to address here in this podcast was, how can you and I start having, including Ayush, he is our puppet in this, he's our experiment in this podcast, where how can I help him get over some of the things that he usually thinks about or goes through whenever I'm forcing him to go out and do a certain few social exercises. And hopefully in that process, I can help you out in that context, in that, with that problem as well. So Ayush, you've been on your transformative process for a while. You have changed the way you look. You have been working out for about what, a year and a half now?
Year and a half.
You've been working out for a year and a half. You have been dancing. That's the new thing that has happened, which he'll talk about. He'll probably show you some of his dance clips. So you can check out his dancing thing on his Instagram. जाके देखो भाई 1.5 साल पहले क्या था अभी क्या है, बहुत ही कमाल changes हैं. So you have been doing a lot of cool things in that context of your personal life. You have been working out, you have been dancing, you have been meditating.
Yes.
All been happening last 1.5 to 2 years.
Yes.
But the one thing that I have had the gripe about, and I always kind of confuse myself to understand, is कि इतना सब कुछ हो रहा है, नए नए लोगों से मिलते हो, नए नए दोस्त बनाते हो, फिर भी why haven't you been out on a proper date yet? Why has there been no dates in your life in 1.5 years? It's not that he does not have girls in his life. He doesn't get attention or whatever. He's a very good dancer to what it is. भाई बंदियाँ बहुत है इसके लाइफ में, लेकिन ये बंदा डेटिंग से भागता है. क्यों भागता है आज हम जानेंगे, चलो जानते हैं. Why Ayush? What is the reason that is stopping you from the whole experience of going out and dating someone? Even if it's casual, even if it's nothing serious, even if it's just a single walk around the town or a ice cream around the corner.
Somewhat हुआ है, मतलब walk around the town, but मैं नहीं, मतलब I haven't taken the lead.
Okay.
Opposite जेंडर ने लीड लिया है इसमें, बट मेरा मेन रीजन प्रॉब्ली मिक्स ऑफ फियर, प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन, लेजीनेस या
ओके, दीस आर 3 डिफरेंट थिंग्स, 3 इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग्स. इतने हल्ले में मत बोलो तीनों को, फियर, प्रोक्रेस्टिनेशन एंड लेजीनेस. What is the fear part? Let's just get into it one by one. Why are you afraid of taking the lead and probably asking someone out? I can probably see your phone and you have like 15 girls who will dance with you, who always, you are always in touch with them, you probably dance with them every other week. I'm not telling you have to ask them out, but there are many other girls who you would not mind asking out, but you have not. What is the fear that stops you from doing it? Because the same fear, sorry to interrupt, but the same fear is what you can even experience when you're trying to start your own thing in terms of business, startup, entrepreneurship, fitness, whatever. There was something very transformative that happened in your life for you to get to the gym. There was something very transformative thing that happened in your life which forced you to meditate. A lot of these things were very forced upon you.
Yeah.
And I don't want this dating part of your life to also be forced upon you. Not everything in your life should be forced so badly. I mean, there are a few good things that happened in the force. We should appreciate that. But if everything we are waiting, if we sit and wait for everything to be forced, then how on earth are we taking ownership and trying things out? So let's just get into it. The fear part of it. What is it?
Probably one thing is I see myself after maybe 15 or 20 years, whoever that girl is, means maybe I'll not be able to
भाग जाएगी
नहीं, मतलब मैं खुद मतलब ठीक से
भाग जाएगा
रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं ले
मंदी भाग जाएगी नहीं तो मैं भाग जाऊंगा. बताओ प्रॉब्लम देखो भाई के.
वो उसका भी नहीं, मतलब वो भी नहीं सोचता, मतलब हो सकता प्रॉब्ली, आई डोंट नो, बट ये थॉट नहीं है, मतलब मैं वो रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी प्रॉपरली ले नहीं पाऊंगा. मतलब ये थॉट मेरे को, मतलब जस्ट बिकॉज आई हैवंट, अभी तो मेरा फैमिली मेम्बर्स ही नहीं बट रिलेटिव्स या किसी का भी ऐसा मैं देखा हो, मतलब किसी का फ्रेंड्स या फ्रेंड्स के फादर या फ्रेंड्स के, स्कैरी लगता है. ऐसा प्रीवियस हिस्ट्री जब देखते कि ओ माय गॉड.
Do you think you would be doing things that you're doing at 24 year of your age that you when you were at 20? Like you think you would be thinking things, doing things, especially the new things that you have experienced in terms of working out, meditation, dancing. If you look in the retrospective, जब 20-22 साल के थे, you wouldn't even have seen yourself doing things so differently in 2 years.
True.
How on earth and why on earth are you putting yourself in so much pressure कि भाई 20 साल बाद 25 साल, that's unfair to you, no?
True.
And that's unfair to the whole relationship, to the whole girl. Again, मैं ये नहीं बोल रहा हूँ कि जाके कली बंदी पटा कली गर्लफ्रेंड बना. That's not even my point, that's not my content. My whole point being, what is the baggage that stops you from experiencing your social freedom and not being so deep in your head? Like I just want you to.
For me, मुझे ये हैबिट शायद बचपन से रहेगा. I guess 9th या 10th स्टैंडर्ड हमेशा I'll always see 10 or 15 years ahead down the line. मतलब इसका what would be the possible consequence? मतलब I still eat, means at times junk food, yeah, and then I remind कि यार I should cut down, yeah, reduce eating this. So same goes to finance, yeah, relationships, anything. मतलब always think, always 10, 15, 20 years on the line कि यार what will happen if I'm making the same decision.
I can see the paranoia in it. A fair bit of paranoia, a fair bit of, paranoia is what I'll call it. But and some sort of paranoia is good in a way. I mean, especially in a society where accountability is lacking and ownership is non-existent, people are confused and lazy and complacent. Paranoia at times can push you to do things. It can push you to the action mode. It was the paranoia that pushed you to working out. It was the paranoia that pushed you to do a lot of things in terms that you were overthinking or putting in for the later case, for example. But paranoia is not a healthy way to live life in terms of experiencing things. You were not paranoid about trying out the social dancing thing that you did, the whole salsa bachata thing. When you went out and when you tried learning it, you were not paranoid about it. You were excited. You were curious. You were neither excited. You were not disheartened. You were just open and you wanted to give it a shot. What would it take you to have that similar approach for other things in life? I'm not telling you to do anything dumb and stupid in terms of go out and start smoking, go out and start drinking, go out and start doing dumb fucking late night parties every other day and God knows what not. But since I have seen that, if I wouldn't have seen that approach of yours with anything, it would have taken me a while to get you to that headspace. But you have already been through that space for once in your life with at least one thing, which was your dance classes. How were you so open about dancing and how are you so paranoid about the other parts?
For me, dance was just one way to learn something new. I have been, since childhood, I have been solving Rubik's Cube. So I am able to relate solving Rubik's Cube. There's a set of algorithms, movements, and almost some maybe 5 or 10% I'm able to relate while learning new combos every week. So That could be one.
That dance form was very algorithmic and very mathematical, which makes sense to you. Maybe some other dance would have been thoda sa not so into you.
At least for initially.
Now, but then sure, I mean that's one bit of it. But then there is so much more to dancing too, right?
Yes.
Do you like it for so many other reasons? You go out on all these social events for so many other reasons, not for your algorithms.
Yes. Now it makes me happy.
Yeah.
Makes me feel I don't have any problems in life. At least for the for that.
In reality, you don't really have much problems in life. Most people don't have. At least people who are watching this channel,
they think
you don't have much problems. Yes, you might think you have a whole lot of problems in your life, but to be very honest, if you can get a fair bit of objectivity in your life, you'll notice you don't really have a whole lot of it. Are there problems that could be trivial and would want your attention? Sure. We all have such trivial problems. They would all want your attention. Gentlemen, आज का ये episode is brought to you by TMB Basics. जाओ tmbasics.com पे and get yourself the best slim fit t-shirts, shirts, shoes और आपके बालों के लिए super sexy hair products by Cavs Grooming. सब live at tmbasics.com. The over exaggeration and the exasperation we have to these dumb thoughts of the problems that we think are so life altering and almost life ending is stupid. It's not really fair for us, at least the tier 1 metropolitan cities people. We don't have shit problems,
at least. But for my time for the last previous 3 or 4 months, I was having some major issues at my family, right?
Sure, family. But so, again, but at that time, At that time, whenever I went to dance, means it used to be kind of an outlet and just to get away from it. Yeah, it was an escape
without taking any alcohol, without doing any substance.
That can be. So that can be experienced on a micro basis with a lot of things. But I'm very happy that dancing did that to you. In a way, it became an escape. Yes. We want to escape from things where we don't where we don't feel a control of, where we can't. When we are very overwhelmed or stressed out, I mean, we would want to. But that's the point, though. Like that's the reason these things are important. That's the reason we talk about. I would want to talk about the social freedom and the whole balancing part of life a lot more on this channel, because that's how it is. The life is not going to be fair and easy in the context of what you want, where do you want to be. True. But it is also not that big of a deal or difficult that we may make out to be in the context. I mean, if we can start being okay with who we are, what we are, and also be okay with how things are around us in terms of acceptance, just sheer acceptance, our problem solving skills and our ability to come to solid concrete solutions to solve those problems become a lot more effective, a lot more clearer, a lot less emotional, and a lot more logical and sound. But the more we are emotionally invested, the more we are constantly overthinking and in our head about the so-called problems that we have, even though they are real problems. Sure, there could be problems, but in the process of overthinking the problems, we inhibit our ability to solve it properly, solve it logically, solve it rationally. So the acceptance part is a whole lot more important than trying to solve for it. You can only solve the problems when you truly accept that it exists as is and it will be as is. What is the worst that could happen? When you absolutely let go, when you absolutely be at ease, dancing did that to you. In a way, it made you snap out of all your problems and it brought you to reality where you realize, oh my fucking Lord, reality is not that bad. It's fun, actually, to be very honest. And with that energy, you could go home and you can not be so feeling, even though you were in the same place where there were problems. Nothing changed, but your mood changed. The way you felt was changed. So even Sadhguru talks about it, Ravi Shankar, a lot of spiritual leaders talk about it. What we feel is inside. What really happens, problems, sufferings, joy, is all inside. So it's not really, nothing is external in that context. What and how do we manipulate it, how do we know it, is what meditation and spirituality does in a way. Now there are different ways where we can experience that essence of spirituality. Dancing is one of it. Like any social liberating movement is one of it. Meditations are one of it. Working out, all these things, creating something, being useful, using our intelligence, and all these things add up to it. Different topic, different talk, different whatever podcast. But why was I talking about this whole point was because the sooner we accept the reality not being so bad, the lesser the paranoia becomes. And the less paranoid we are about a hypothetical future, the more present we become. And if we are when we at least get a taste of being present, which happened to you when you were dancing. Many of you would have experienced this when you are probably playing a video game,
running,
or probably when you're working out, running, runner high is the thing, or doing anything with your friends, doing something where time is irrelevant. Like you just let loose of time. There are 2 points in your life, 2 aspects of your life where you let loose of time. Either when you're absolutely stressed, you don't have any idea, you're just constantly in your head, you don't have time to breathe, and that overwhelms you and you don't know where the time flew. Or else when you're very happy, where you're flying over life and it feels like a pleasant fucking walk. Life feels beautiful. So I would not want you to be on the first boat, I'll want you to be on the second boat. But for you to be on the second boat, you need to have your head right at the very first place. If I would want you to go out and at least give casual dating a fair try, you have to let loose of the paranoia first. We have to get that bit out first. So how can we get you to be in a place where you're not actively paranoid but actively present and trying to make things work? Okay, so this is the first part, which we'll get back to. The second thing that you said, what was the second thing that you said after fear?
Laziness, procrastination.
All right. So why do you think you are lazy and procrastinative about this? Because this is nothing about fear. It's just
complete.
What is it? Complacency. Why do you think you feel not so good about, or you're not so motivated rather to go out and ask a girl out?
Probably because I need to be doing, internally I feel like I need to be doing a
productive
lot
work,
other things in my life. Not just productivity, but meeting friends, meeting family members. I feel I always feel I have quite less time to be with my friends, family members. I don't know why, but could be because of my personal routine, meditation or working out or something else.
How did you figure out a way in your life to put in time for working out and dancing and meditation much before you having the same schedule and routine? How did that happen?
Yeah.
Because you have had this thought even before you were working out, even before you were dancing, even before you were meditating.
Yeah.
This thought has been consistent forever in the context of us knowing each other. Whenever we got to know each other, this has been a consistent thought. It's a waste of time, I don't have time, or it's a waste of time. Pehle it was a waste of time, now you have this thought, I don't have, which is the same thing in 2 different languages. But then you have figured out time for other things, which are also productive and nice things. But nothing has changed in the context of you being you, your life being you, your family being you.
Mm-hmm.
How has that happened? And nobody is feeling ignored. You're still meeting your friends, you're still meeting your family, you're still doing all of it.
From externally, no one would know that, no one will say that you are ignoring me, but internally I might sometimes feel am I ignoring my family members? Am I spending less time with them? I don't know why. Probably because of recent.
Okay. Has anyone complained so far?
Not.
Do you feel you are spending a lot more quality time with your family than before?
Probably yes.
Maybe the amount of time used, the quantity would have reduced a fair bit, but the quality would have shot up a fair bit.
Somewhat, yes.
That's called growing up in one way or the other. There could be days when you would want to give more time to your family, sure. And this biggest dilemma usually occurs when you're working from home too. So since you're home, you do feel that you should probably be giving more time. But if nobody's complaining, and if you in your heart feel that you are enjoying the time that you have with your family, then it's all fair and play. I mean, they're not complaining about you working out and not being at home. They're not complaining about you going out and dancing. They're not complaining about your activities in terms of their lack of time, are they?
They do complain.
About you dancing. Maybe.
About me working out. Means what they feel is...
You might hurt yourself.
I work out a lot. What they see is I'm working out 6 days a week or 5 days. You need to take rest.
It's not because they would want more time of you. It's just their concern. That's a different
thing.
Approach to situation altogether. So we are not talking about the concern. We are talking about the time that they would want to spend. They are absolutely fine with what you have to offer. So if in the same routine of your life you could manage to fit in 3 things, how were you able to do it? Why were you not lazy or procrastinative about it? And what's stopping you from adding one more?
Fear only. It could be something related to fear probably.
But do you feel that the procrastination part is not strong enough reason because you have already done it with the 3 other things? Or do you still feel there is more laziness to it? Because I wanted to address this lazy part. A lot of people, a lot of men, especially hyper productive men, hyper career focused men who have been told so all their life to focus on their career, focus on their ambition, focus on this, that. And ambition has also been so abused in terms of only career and nothing else. Isliye you will see cases like Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and all, filthy rich man, very useful man, very important man for society and economics, dying at 55, getting a heart attack in that context, and a lot of things. So what's the deal about being ambitious about career and not being ambitious about health, finance, fitness, or life? So much more to life. So why can't we prioritize being ambitious about life? I think that should be the direction of the channel. Making you all get ambitious about life. In that process, you will also find balance, you'll also find clarity, you'll also find your truest self, and you'll not be competing and comparing. But that's a different topic, but I like this, being ambitious about life. So yeah, what is it that, do you still feel like, what is it that still makes you feel complacent or lazy about this thought that I would rather be doing something else? This is a thought you have.
Yeah. I will give the priority, but as of now, I still feel ki no.
I think this is one. Thank God you said it. There is a problem with the approach you have towards it. I feel you would want to give it a priority. You would want to give dating a priority, right? Why so much weight to it? Why so much pressure on it? Do you say I need to give dancing a priority, or it is just a priority in your life? You didn't intend to, it just became a priority because it was important enough. If you would meet a person, if you ever do in the recent past, that person should automatically become a priority, not by the force of nature. But the process of meeting someone should not be an absolute priority in that case. You are already quite active and social in terms of meeting people. Meeting people is very organic to you. If folks don't have access to meeting people, then that's a different approach. Then they need to prioritize socializing at the very first place where they can go out and meet people. That part is not your problem. You are now in a place where you are competent enough in your skill, and there are plenty pretty ladies in that frame of your skill. So meeting is not the problem. I don't want you to look at it from the perspective of prioritizing it or give it so much importance. You're giving it extra importance. Actually, lack of importance, that's one thing that I could probably see a lot of men overthink about. Either they would give absolute lack of importance, which is not what our audience would do. I think they give it a lot more importance, which kind of paralyzes them a whole lot more. Remember this, I think one of our friends who was there with us yesterday, 21-year-old, I'll not name him because he wants to be discreet and God knows what not. He even has a similar approach, being a young ambitious man, that he prioritizes dating, or he could see himself slipping out and simping over a girl so hard that he would rather not date. Gentlemen, आज का ये episode is brought to you by TMB Basics. जाओ tmbasics.com पे and get yourself the best slim fit t-shirts, shirts, shoes और आपके बालों के लिए super sexy hair products by Cavs Grooming, सब live at tmbasics.com. So instead of us becoming a paralyzed individual to the lady or to the relationship, why can't we find our balance and be objective in the relationship so that we are not paralyzed and we are either not paranoid about it. We are not putting ourselves away from it, but we are also not dwelling very hard on it. You were against going out and partying 2 years ago. How did that change from, that was scary to you, that was overwhelming maybe? Maybe. Okay, now I'm seeing it, I'm probably hearing a different thing. Maybe he was not all that anti-dancing, but your language used to be very anti of it. For some reason, because people are told ki bhai ye buri baat hai, which is agreed in terms of abusing it. Sure, it could become a problematic thing, but to what we were doing and to what you are doing, you are probably partying us, we are probably out partying all of us in that context. How did you normalize that whole idea of going out and dancing is not insane? Actually, it's fun. Every guys do it. Fucking CEOs and MDs do it. Who the fuck am I? Like, what was the change that made it happen? How did you accept and came in terms with this fear of whatever, the overwhelm you had, the paranoia you had, the negative outlook that you had about the same thing, same venue, same people in 8 months to a year time?
Could be because of the major life event. And one more reason could be just out of curiosity, I just wanted to try out learning dancing. I've seen you dance at multiple areas. So maybe I could have, it was just a small short goal ki let's try out. It's just once.
As a skill, it was more like a life skill. The going out to a bar and clubs became a secondary nature to it. And once you did it, you realize this is not all that bad anyway.
Yeah. I still feel it's somewhat bad just to our overall, means it damages our overall complete routine. Means even I have been dancing a lot, right? So I feel कि यार थोड़ा sleep, next day's का schedule, it's been बहुत ज़्यादा up and down. So
this is also another topic to talk about. I'll just cover it briefly. Why the fuck life needs to be so perfect all the time? What's the fucking paranoia about it? Why can't, and it's not that you would waste your entire day. You'll just get up a little late the next day and then you'll get back to your shit any which way. If it just so happens that you probably slept late twice or thrice a week, you got up late twice or thrice a week, but you did do your things, you probably did them a little late, but you did it anyway. So how the fuck is it, how is it a problem when you're overall very balanced, sorted, doing your things, getting it done, and probably not abiding to some stereotypical standards of no, you should be up early at 6 o'clock every day. Yes, you should be up early at 6 o'clock every day when you get to sleep early and when you can get up at 6 o'clock. I am a fan of getting up early, but I'm also a fan of going out and having fun with friends.
Yeah, but for me, my frequency had increased quite a lot, right? But
that's 4 or 5 months back. That's the part though. Like you cannot be so long as everything else in your life is in order. How the fuck does it matter? Because that phase of your life, you were probably growing and trying out this thing a lot more than you were before. It's quite normal in that context.
At least for temporary, yeah, could have.
Yeah, so, I mean, again, I just don't get this. Because I come from your school of thought. I did it. I had your school of thought since the recent times. But then when I speak about balance, the more I learn about balance, the more I meditate, the more I get objective, the more I realize this is so stupid way to live life. The whole idea of, I mean, if I would have been completely antisocial, if I would not have ever had any intention to go out, meet people, would have been a weird social fuck where I could be in my man cave and do nothing. Sure, I could be just fine. I'll have a TikTok routine. I'll get up at 10. I'll sleep at 10, get up at 5, 4, whatever. But then for me, that's not a fulfilling life. For me, that's not a balanced life. If I would want to live the life that I would want to cherish and enjoy, I'll want to do all the things that the life has to offer. That does not mean I'll go abuse my body or I'll abuse my schedule on a 7-day basis. But that could also look like I going out every now and then and I sticking to my routine every other day of the week. If I'm allowed to do that, if I'm sticking to my routine most of the time and I'm allowed to have a cheat meal every now and then, how is that cheat meal ruining my entire diet? Because you cannot keep eating clean all your life, right? There are these fitness guys who will probably eat their chicken breast and rice every day. And then there are guys who will probably eat their chicken breast and rice 4 times a week and probably twice or thrice they'll go out and eat something that they would want to crave or whatever. There could be healthy food too, but they're just eating out in the context. So yes, some accountability and paranoia is good. When you're going out, you should not get into illegal dumb shit. You should not do substance. You should not probably smoke your lungs out and all that. But where is the balance? Why can't going out just be about having fun, having a good time with your friends, dancing, enjoying the music, which is what you do right now. You still don't smoke, you still don't drink, you barely drink. So you don't do any one of it. You go out, you have fun, but you don't subscribe to the traditional, typical going out lifestyle that people do. But you also don't subscribe to the typical, traditional idea of hardcore discipline, get up at 6 o'clock people do. This is a lot more balance. You're not doing the extreme stupid shit. You're not doing the extreme strict no life, no social life, no personal life nonsense. You're in the middle. And in the middle is where you have fun. You get to experience the beauties of life, the fun, the joys of life, where you get to be creative, you get to be social, you get to meet people, you get to make money, and you also get to be accountable and disciplined. So why holding ourselves to such obnoxious standards? That's one of my gripes with this productivity nonsense which we are being told. Oh, I get up at 4 o'clock every day. Fuck you. I have gotten up more than you to be at 4 o'clock, to all those guys who will get up at 4 o'clock. But I also have slept a lot of times at 4 a.m. than you could ever be. I've done them both. And I find joy in both of them. There is no hard and fast rule of you be doing this, you be doing that. The more hard and fast that's the reason I'm trying to do it on this channel, because problems that most men have from this channel or this audience is the hardcore productive nerds who have always been either told by society or their parents to be working hard, doing things in terms of productivity and growth, or who have self-imposed productivity on them. I come from the second part, where I have self-imposed productivity on them, which is much worse than parents. They have some standards, that's sure, but when you set up your own standards, it becomes a cyclical loop. You are never enough. You are never enough. You are never good enough. You're always there to improve. You're always there to get better. And it's good for you to get started, but then if you get over ambitious about dumb material things in the context of growth, you will tend to burn yourself out and you'll start losing your identity as a spirit of the soul. Again, a different topic. I don't know why are we going all around this. The point being, you did switch yourself up from not liking a thing to liking that thing, which is going out and dancing. But there is still some paranoia, there's still some procrastination and some complacency to asking a girl out. Why? Would you be, you're about to go out tonight, you have your thing. Would you be asking a girl out tonight after all this talk that we have had?
So here asking a girl out refers to means just going out for a walk, or
out for a walk, hold her hands, hug her, probably kiss her or see her goodbye, do whatever the fuck. I mean, I'm giving an exaggerated example of it, but asking her out would usually in the context of social dynamic mean, in case you all don't know, I as a man interested in you as a woman and we should spend some exclusive time together. That is asking her out. That exclusive time could just mean a walk where you are connecting with her as a masculine and as a feminine. When there is a clear line, when there is a clear indication of my masculine energy is interested in your feminine entity, then that is you asking someone out. You're making your mating possibilities clear to the opposite, because that's what you get rejected for. You don't get rejected for friendships or whatever. In cities you don't. I mean, in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, I don't think you'll get rejected for being friends. होता होगा छोटे शहरों में, मैं नहीं बोल रहा कि ये सब नहीं होता. If you are from a small city, I'll not be surprised if people don't want to be your friends. They'll be like, oh my god, I don't want to be your friends, fuck off. But in bigger cities or in people, or even in the first world countries and all that places, friendships are not rejected. Dates and relationships could be. So this is what asking out means in the context, where you have a possibility of rejection because now you are proposing the idea of a possible mate. That could play out in any way. That could look in any way. It could mean you guys going out on a walk. It could mean you guys going out on a drive. Mean you guys going out on an ice cream. Whatever. It could mean you guys just going to a corner of the bar and having a conversation. Just having a conversation, connecting with her as an individual, as a woman. And that conversation is not about... It's about masculine and feminine. It's about a lot more mating possibilities where you are connecting as not friends, but as a potential partner. That a lot of nuances in social dynamics is where it comes into play. Jahan pe a lot of guys will say, "Yeah, Mayank, I get friend zoned. Almost every girl friend zones me. I have so many friends, but nobody wants to date me because you never really took the fucking risk to make it man to woman." All the conversations you have had, I have done that in the past. I know it so fucking well. All the conversations you have had were so generic, or if not generic, were so professional or so not man to woman, so not masculine and feminine that you could be a very good friend. But there is nothing sexy about it. There is nothing exciting, nothing intimidating about it. When you're dancing, especially when you do social dancing would include any Latin form of dancing, which is bachata, kizomba, salsa, all of it. So when you do that, in that dance form, a man is supposed to lead a woman and he is supposed to make her dance. Now, that is a very man-to-woman dynamic by the nature of it. So, in that context, can you translate that dance to verbal communication and make it up? Wahan pe, probably when you're dancing, that 2 minute could be an actual date. Can you make that 2 minute a 20 minute date? with the same energy, the same intensity. You're not dancing as a friend. You are friends, but in that context, you're leading and you're making things happen. The same energy needs to be reciprocated when you're asking a girl out. In that context, I'm taking the lead. Would you want to? Can I get you a drink? Would you want to do this? Would you want to do that? Gentlemen, आज का ये episode is brought to you by TMB Basics. जाओ tmbasics.com पे and get yourself the best slim fit t-shirts, shirts, shoes और आपके बालों के लिए super sexy hair products by Cavs Grooming. सब live at tmbasics.com.
I think I have done this maybe some time back, but
okay, what have you done? Explain. Let's see.
I would have gone with her for a walk, but immediately I feel some kind of tension or some kind of pressure, and then immediately I back out. I start talking complete random things about life or anything.
That's called two things. One is performance pressure, and two is you just, sorry, what do you say?
Being scared or something.
Yeah, anxiety, performance pressure, anxiety, or too afraid of. Rejection is one of it, but rejection is also not your thing. It's actually too afraid of
outcome.
There is a specific outcome you're afraid of. You don't want to come across as intimidating. You don't want to cross the boundaries. You don't want to cross her line and probably scare her. And that thought is so evident in your head that you end up doing nothing for it. You so don't want to be intimidating, you so don't want to take the risk because you are so worried that it may come across as something very offensive that you don't go offense at all. That is the thought. You're not afraid about the outcome rejection. You're rather afraid about a terrible outcome which could probably be she getting scared or you pushing the wrong button and all of that. And you just like you're in the shallow water, you don't know how to swim. So you'd rather be in the corner and hold on to that thing and be like wave around people. But then if you have to go in there, you have to start pedaling and have to swim. एक दो बार डूबोगे. But एक दो बार डूबने से you'll get to learn the social calibration part.
Yes.
And you don't need to dive very deep. You need to make minute moves, which is very socially calibrated and normal. For example, holding hands when you're walking all throughout, taking that lead. Or maybe when you're getting some ice cream or whatever, high fives, basic things where you can possibly challenge. If you're good with verbal communication, that you can probably make her feel like you're holding your hands with words. Kshitij is one guy who does it. I've seen him doing it very well with his words. He does not even need to be touchy. He can just blatantly strip you down with his fucking vocabulary because he's very comfortable and confident, very banterish in his way of communication with his words. And a lot of people like that I have met who are very outspoken like that with words, and they can make it happen just by words. They don't even need to touch. My style of play is both touch and words. I'm not as sharp as Kshitij, but I'm very comfortable with my touch. So if I have to make it clear to a woman that this is not friendship anymore, we are out on a walk because this is now there has been, because friendships are gender neutral. In an absolute friendship, people say, "Yeah, a man and a woman can't be friends." Fuck yes, they can be friends. So long as you don't have the gender in it, so long as you're not a man, I'm not a woman, or vice versa. So up tak we are two individuals, two persons, two human beings, we are fucking friends.
Yeah.
As soon as the gender identity comes in, now there is a polarizing effect because that's how nature is, masculine, feminine nature is. So then, if that is the case, then it becomes a whole lot more. Then we need to be consciously aware. Alright, so now I'm trying to shift gears, and this is not a gender neutral thing anymore. Now I'm trying to portray my gender, man, woman, masculine, feminine, interested. Let me know if you're interested in it or not. So that's the slow, gradual switch that you make in that sphere of making a move or letting it known. So it shouldn't be all that difficult. This should not be all that overwhelming. Nobody's telling you to go out and take any big steps towards, like asking her out, making her your extraordinary date on the very first time you see her and all that nonsense. A date ideally does not always mean that you're asking someone out via text, you met her and all that. A date could be instant too. A date could happen right in 5 minutes of you meeting someone. A date could happen right when you probably, a lot of things. I mean, nobody needs to overthink date anymore like that, the way they used to in the past. But you should be able to make it a date in the context of switching roles, taking the lead, or it. this is how it is. Now we switch gears. Now it's no more friends. Now it's friends, but there is a layer to it, which is the probable chances of meeting. Does this make sense? Do you have any questions? Would you want to try it?
Yeah, one thing is I would have done this, but probably not quite intentionally, right? So I haven't experienced it that much, the same experience.
Okay.
So that's why.
Explain the experience part. As in, what have you not experienced? Going out on dates.
Yeah.
That is one thing. These are all experiential skills. You would only want to go to the gym if you have been to the gym. You would only want to meditate once you have meditated. You would only want to dance, go out, party, have a good time once you have actually danced, went out and had a good time. You would only want to date once you've actually been on a few dates. You would only want to have a girlfriend once you have actually had a girlfriend and you have had a beautiful relationship rather and all that. If you haven't had it, you don't have a compass to look to, right? The slate is blank. So, उस चीज़ के लिए we need an open mind. उस चीज़ के लिए we don't need to be paranoid about the process. Since our slate is so empty, why do you want to fill it up with dumb fucking other people's experiences and God knows what not?
True.
Many people die in the gym lifting weights and running on treadmills. People get heart attack and God knows what happened. Young 33-year-olds, Bollywood actors, TV actors. Iska matlab people should stop going to the gym. That's pointless, no? People always crash and burn, but there is a way to the madness. In a way, it's not even that madness. If you're that stupid shit will happen. But there is a very fine, sane way of doing things, which many people are, and they're all fine. But you have to have an open approach, open mind, open approach. You'll never go to the gym. I can never convince anyone to go to the gym if they all feel like they'll get a heart attack and they'll die. Like every other actor who's dying or every other guy who they know have died.
Yeah.
So that, how would I want you to let loose of this baggage that you have, this weird paranormal thought that you have of whatever that comes along, even with the minute idea of asking a girl out. That has to be.
Yeah, so only time and experience will change the belief.
Time you have now, because this is probably the most liberating time of your life. And this is probably the very, why liberating? Because you have a lot more energy and you have a lot more excitement biologically right now than what you'll be later. It's just that now you can probably have the intensity, the motive to give this life skill a try. As probably give it 10 more years, you'll probably want to give other life experiences a try. It's not that your energy level would go down, but you'll mature enough to want to give other things a try. For you to come back to the drawing board back then, if I have to teach someone social dancing at 40 versus when 20, a whole lot to it. There's a different way of approaching it altogether. It can't be done. Nobody can go to the gym at the age of 40. But when somebody is working out at 40 versus somebody who has been working out since they were 18, there's a whole different approach to it. He sees as the 18-year-old boy who turns out to be 40, sees fitness totally, completely differently than a 40-year-old who's just starting out fitness. Gentlemen, आज का ये episode is brought to you by TMB Basics. जाओ tmbasics.com पे and get yourself the best slim fit t-shirts, shirts, shoes और आपके बालों के लिए super sexy hair products by Cavs Grooming, सब live at tmbasics.com. So for you, this is a very apt time. For anyone who's his age, who has their other spectrum of life going well sorted after for them, this is a time where you probably need to let loose of a lot of baggage and let loose of a lot of overthought accountability that you have had. Like it's not supposed to be rocket science. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be exciting. But it can only be fun and exciting when you have experienced it to be fun and exciting. And for that to happen, you have to have an open mind. If you go ahead in a relationship or even in a date with a preconceived thought, it will probably be the very worst date you'll have. But you have had an open mind and you have tried dancing and it was a pleasant surprise. So, having said that, who do you want to ask someone out tonight?
I'll try.
Right, because most of the approaches are all about the intent. If you are not approaching someone with an intent of asking them out, then it's just a friendly approach, and that's totally normal. If you're trying to make friends, sure. But the moment your approach changes from friendly, I would recommend people to start with a friendly approach, but there has to come a point, there has to be a point in time when that approach changes from just being friends to, all right, I'm interested, what's up? So at least this thought in your head, as long as the thought is there, you are bound to act on it. If not tonight, most likely tonight. Let's just not put it on if not tonight. So long as you're proactive with the thought, you'll probably meet someone, you'll probably dance with someone, you'll probably see someone who you would want to make the move and ask out, or make the move, or just have an instant date or a drink or whatever. I hope this clears a few things that you would have in your head. अगर ऐसे conversations आयुष के साथ और देखनी है तो भाई comment करो. The goal of this channel is not about helping you make money. I have done that in the past on this channel. I'm over it, so I don't want this channel to become a bore of what it was. This channel would rather be about using your intelligence to solving life as an equation, not just career and finances. By all means do it, but I feel there are much better channels. Even his channel is going to be a lot better in terms of personal finance and all of it. And I'll let them do their job. I'll do what I can do my best, at least on this channel, which is have you be more ambitious about life, and have you use your intelligence not just for solving money problems, but overall life as a whole in that case. So get creative in case you're someone who does not want to spend a lot of money. You'll be surprised the kind of results and the kind of women you'll meet just by the sheer creativity that you have. I still don't do expensive dates. I mean, you have seen me do a lot of dates right in front of you. None of them are supposed to. When was the last time I spent a single fucking penny on any one of the dates? But it's just not about the dates. It's about the experience you can build. It's the narrative you can have. It's the story. It's the web series you can have at that moment and make a tale out of it. Are you good with that? Are you creative enough to do that? If you're not, then you have to have a lot of money. For all of us you have to literally buy all the places to make sense out of it. If you are not, if you are not creative, you have to be loaded in order for that tale to happen. But if you are creative, you can make it happen with absolute zero fucking thing. Like you can do epic dates and you'll be surprised by the amount of joy and smile ladies will have after being on a date with you because it was such a fantastic fucking date. For now, we'll wrap things up. We'll see you probably in the next video and hopefully next month with this man again. Don't forget to dress up, stay strong and stay stylish. Don't forget to be a part of our social transformation camp in case you would want me to work with you like I did with him, but in a lot different manner because your problems are going to be a whole lot different. We'll work on your anxiety and a whole lot of things that will probably put you in a state of social liberation, freedom and acceptance at the very first place. We are booking our January and December slots right now. Check it out. Links to which is in the description. And in case you haven't checked out our apparel yet, Teamy Basics के long sleeve, Teamy Basics के crew neck, Teamy Basics का ना होने वाला denim shirt. You have even got the Boston shoes right behind his head. You can see the boots, the monk straps, and we have got the calves grooming ka heads up, the thing that we use on both of our hair to style it and put it in place. In case you want to level up your image, your looks, these things are there to help you. In case you would want me to help you find the balance in your life, get more ambitious about life, our coaching camp is going to do that for you. For now, we take your leave. We'll see you in the next one. Jai Hind. Take care.